Okay, this is part 3 of our Power, Influence, and Politics lecture. Let's pick up where we left off. The number 2 here is gentle manipulation of people and situations. Just because it's gentle doesn't mean it isn't manipulative. Manipulation having a connotation of behind someone's back or without their knowledge, putting pressure, playing games, demeaning or debasing others, the put down. Another way is upward appeal, jumping over your manager, going higher up the organizational chain. Of course, there's always the silent treatment. Ingratiation, charm, appearance, that would be the kind of thing that we call butt kissing or brown nosing. And then joking and kidding, not to lighten the work environment, but as a way of distracting, moving conversations away from certain people, and also used in demeaning or debasing others. I'm sure you've had experience with both the honest and dishonest influence tactics in your organization. In your essay, I'll ask you to identify some behaviors that are ethical versus unethical. So make sure you understand these. I had mentioned that politics can be positive. The positive aspect is organizational growth and development, professional growth and development, working in concert to reach the goals of both the organization and those who work for it. Politics is not necessarily a dirty word. How else are you going to negotiate and collaborate if you are not aware of the positive political skills that are at your service? I want to use this model by Peter Block. It's just a little chapter in his book, and a lot of people don't pay attention to it, but I think this is a great model. Those influence tactics that we just talked about can be used with a little formula here. If you look at this grid, you'll see along the left side, agreement, and along the bottom, trust. Block says you need to assess where the people in your environment sit in this model. If it's someone you trust and someone who agrees with you, let's say you're trying to implement some new strategy or some new program, people that you trust and people who agree with you, we call them allies. People who you trust but who don't happen to agree with you on this particular project of yours, we call opponents. There are people we don't trust but who happen to agree with us, and we call these people bedfellows. And then there are people we don't trust and who don't agree with us. Those people are called adversaries. In between the bedfellows and the adversaries are people we don't trust and we don't know whether they agree with us or not. They haven't committed. And those people we call fence sitters. Before you pursue something, you really need to know where you stand in the organization. Influence strategies with your allies, really there are none. You just want to maintain the trusting relationship. Make sure you're all on the same page. Influence strategies with your opponents would be use them as a resource. The reason your opponents don't agree with you may be where the weaknesses in your plan, in your strategy, in what the final goal is going to be. Opponents are your good friends in helping you build and strengthen a plan of action. Block says your bedfellows, you really should try to find out why it is they want what they want, because maybe there are unintended consequences that you are not aware of that they see. Again, you want to strengthen your program in a positive manner. Block says you should go to your adversaries and make amends. You probably have contributed to this relationship of distrust. Look back at the dishonest and unethical tactics. You've probably even been part of that yourself. You go to your adversaries, you fess up, you say, from this point on, I want to make our relationship more trusting, and you got to mean it. Your adversaries probably won't take you at face value. However, over time, it is possible that you might be able to move them into more of a trusting relationship. Block says your fence sitters, you can't do anything with them. They go wherever the wind blows. They want to be on the winning team. They want to get on the bandwagon. He says don't spend a lot of time with them. In this model, you want to concentrate on the ethical influence tactics. Remember, you have to walk the talk. Okay? Here's our list of references for this chapter, for this unit. Take care.